Good morning. Happy Saturday morning to you. Sweet Polly. All right, my friend. Appreciate you. Hey, Tim. Yeah, I've been adding trailers on different ones. Appreciate the like. Hey, Tara. Good morning. Cecil's in. Yeah, I like to try to entertain instead of having a black screen, a blank screen. You can watch a little something. It's a little weird though because I was so many different videos I like to add to that trailer, but it only gives me so many options. So I guess it could only be like a couple of minutes long. Longest is 3 minutes. So if I create some, I think maybe I'll create some live stream trailer videos only and then add them. Yeah. Every time, Tim. Every freaking time I'm tripping on that dang thing. No matter what I do. Well, for those of you who watched my video that came out yesterday, which by the way, I think to be consistent, because consistency does seem to help a lot. I'm going to put a video out every week. That day will be Friday. And why I picked Friday is because it's the day before my live stream. So every Friday, I'm going to have a video come out, and then we can talk about it on the live stream the next morning. Hey, Scotty, good to see you, buddy. Also, I wanted to make sure you guys know I added something else a little bit different to this live stream. Because you guys know I'm affiliated with the Aquatic News Network. Tommy, we're going to start putting our premieres and our videos out Saturday mornings, 10:30 Eastern. And I have it set to redirect you. So if you stay here after the stream is completed, you don't have to go anywhere. It's going to take you right over to the new Aquatic News Network episode. And maybe you guys can help us get that channel growing as well. And check those videos out. So you don't have to go anywhere. It's going to redirect you right to it. And you can check out that. Lots of information over there with humor, comedy, education. It's all wrapped up in one thing. So why wouldn't you want to watch? Hey, Cecil, how you doing, buddy? Scotty, good morning. A little bit stormy this last night. We had some storms roll in, got a little bit of rain, and it's raining a little bit this morning, but no storms. Wonder where my aquatic news was yesterday. Wondering where. Oh, yeah. We're just changing it up a little bit. We're working together, try to make things, and we're going to see how it goes. So, as I said, you'll just stick around, and it'll teleport you right over to the new premiere. You had some rain yesterday too. Okay. How'd the work night go, Tara? If you'd like to get one of these bad boys, they're on my Teespring store. As time goes on, I think this is my favorite mug. This picture turned out really well with my Oscars. Which brings me to my next bit of news. I received my Northfin package yesterday. I got all kinds of Northfin food available. So we're look forward to a giveaway coming up soon. But in that giveaway, you're not going to just get the Northfin food. He also sent me lots of stickers. I'm going to include that. And I'm also going to include my Fish Punks sticker. So whoever wins gets a nice package of Northfin food. They get 2 different stickers. Iron Ram coming in again. Good to see you, buddy. Tara says I go back to work on the 12th. Doctor wouldn't clear. Oh, that's right. You're still off healing from the surgery. So, okay. Hey, Peplin. Good morning, buddy. Good to see you. You're from the Fish Fam Cookout. Oh, you're better. Yeah, I was watching that live a little bit last night, but that was midnight my time, so I'm usually snoozing by then. But I said hello. Rick White, good to see you, buddy. Coming over from Facebook. Appreciate you. We are live to YouTube, Facebook, and Rumble. And if Whip does come in, I gotta have a conversation with that young man with the glorious hair. Why multi-streaming is beneficial, because he hates it. Yep. So my streams are going to be an hour and a half. They'll run from 9 to 10:30 Eastern. Soon as the stream ends, stick around because it's going to take you right over to the new Aquatic News Network episode. You don't have to go anywhere. It's going to redirect you and check out that education and humor over there. So yeah, planning a giveaway. I got to get my ducks in a row. I'm out of bubble mailers. I got to get more bubble mailers. And once I do that, I ship with Pirate Ship, because Pirate Ship is, in my opinion, the way better way to ship things, because it's a lot cheaper, number one, than taking it to your local post office. They really mark their prices up over there. You can get your own bubble mailers and get a little food scale. I've got one, and you have to weigh things. So I can throw the food in a bubble mailer with the stickers, weigh it, print my own label out, put it on the package, and either put it in the mailbox yourself, because usually USPS is the cheapest shipping. And that's how I mail things out. Way cheaper than going to the post office. Just do it yourself. That gives you the best rates, and you can pick what you want. So, but the video at this point, I think, has, last I checked, about 117 views on my DIY PVC waterline project. If you haven't seen that video, if I could have a moderator share it, it's the newest video out there. That'd be great. But I wanted to follow up from that video on this live stream, because, man, what a time saver. What a time saver it was to basically put a spigot at every tank. And it has saved me a ton of time. One of the reasons why I wanted to do this is, you guys know, I was doing monthly water changes, and I really didn't have a problem doing that. The fish were fine. There was no problem with fish health. And I always say the less you do in your tanks is best. But the problem with doing that is you do get a little bit more excess nutrients building up. I was starting to have a problem with things like cyanobacteria. In the tanks that don't have a lot of plants, I was getting excess algae. Nitrates would only get in a couple of tanks a little over 80 ppm at the end of the month, which is not bad considering it is an overstocked Mabuna tank. And these two 125s right here were building up the most nitrates. At the end of the month, they were about 80, 85 ppm nitrates, which isn't bad. I ain't gonna hurt them. And but my biggest issue is the tanks were really starting to get ugly. They were getting too much algae, too much, cyanobacteria, things like that. So I wanted to step up my water changes, and so I've done that. But doing this process has made that so much easier, because I don't have to move that water line to every tank. And you wouldn't believe how much these little things shave time off like that. Think about it. You drain the tank, you pull the pump out, you put I was always using the Python hook. Put your Python hook, fill it. And one thing I didn't discuss in that video was this. I can actually fill tanks simultaneously. So I could drain. Now, I have tested this because of how I have this plumbed in. It's going up and down in your whoops and your lefts, your rights, and all that stuff. If I open too many valves at once, something is getting robbed of water. You get a little trickle. I can have about 3 of these spigots running at the same time. So I can drain 3 tanks to 50%, add the dechlorinator, turn the valves on, and I can fill 3 tanks simultaneously, which shaves even more time off the process. So I'm playing with it. I'm experimenting, see what all I can do. I wanted to be able to drain every single tank in here 50%, get used to where I could adjust the valves at each tank. So when I fill them simultaneously, they raise at the same time. But I don't think I'm going to be able to do that because the water is getting robbed, which I find weird, but I understand it. Using 3/4 inch PVC, the water's coming in and it's got to go up. Like behind me, you can see where my towel rack is. You know, you got PVC going up, over, down, over, comes over to here, goes up over the doorway. You get when it comes over here, it's up to the ceiling coming down. And I'm already piped in ready for the 375 gallon as well. I just, for whatever reason, I can't simultaneously fill more than 3 at a time as far as I know at this point. But who cares? Even filling 3 at a time versus 1, you save so much time. And prior, when I was doing monthly water changes, I was waiting a month, but I was doing larger water changes, 75, 80% water changes. So that took a little bit longer to drain and a little bit longer to fill. So now I'm draining 50%. I can do these water changes a little bit more often, easier and faster. So I've literally cut my time to 2 hours or less to do these 11 tanks. So I'm really looking forward to how it goes when the 375 comes in. Cecil says all he's got is time. Hey, Brent, good to see you. Good morning from Peplin Creek. Let me tell you what, Jesse, those leaves big real lot of dumps. Yeah. Well, you will find, Brent, that the Lowe's bucket will hold a little bit more poop than any other bucket. So no matter what you want to use the Lowe's bucket for, it's going to service you well. Sweet Polly, I got your message up there, buddy. You do your doing your church thing. Gotcha. Absolutely. You have yourself a good weekend, my friend. Yeah, I jumped on that live last night a little bit. It was about midnight my time, pretty close to. And you guys were all around the fire. I heard River crying. What? Now it's a barbecue. So what are we making? What's for breakfast this morning? I haven't eaten breakfast yet, by the way. What are you guys going to do today, Brandon? What's going on over there? What's the plan? Maybe a little corn toss? Me too, Cecil. The only reason why I promote Lowe's buckets is because it is 5 minutes from my house. If Lowe's was 5 minutes from my house, I'd be promoting, or if Home Depot was 5 minutes from my house, I'd be promoting Home Depot. Brandon did send me one of those white buckets. I've got it over here. It's right there at the moment. I have the hardest time right there. But yes, you seen it in the video that my new system is working really good. The hardest thing about this whole job was because I plumbed everything in, had it glued. It took me half of a day Saturday to set this up. But I built this wall and I have a Quaker parrot right over here. Birds are very sensitive respiratory system. So when I was using the glue, I had to get all the fumes out of this garage, and it was strong. I don't know if I was using that Fusion one step PVC cement. I don't know if it was from being out in the heat in the shed or whatever, but it took a week to get the fumes out of here. I was opening this garage door, opening that back door, and had fans going. And at night, of course, we had to close everything. I had a air purifier sitting over here, carbon sacks to help absorb the fumes, because that bird had to come back out into her room no later than Friday. So luckily it all got gassed off and we're good to go. But it was a time crunch because I chose to do this too late. She says Lowe's is about 5 minutes from my house. Also, Home Depot was 30 minutes. Yeah. I say, well, it's same for me, Cecil. 5 minutes Lowe's, but it's 15 minutes or so, depending on traffic for the Home Depot. Yeah, and as I said before, stick around after the stream. 10:30 will be the end of the stream. We're going to go an hour and a half. And as soon as it's done, I have redirect set up with the new Aquatic News Network premiere. So make sure you stay here. You don't have to go anything. It's going to take you right over there. Help us grow that channel. Get some watch time hours. You get education and you get humor and all kinds of things. And different, we got Pile Aquatics, Mark and Tommy and myself. Different subjects every week. And some bloopers are coming up. Where do you see these bloopers, my friends? I don't even want to talk about what might be in these bloopers. But if we get one out there, you don't want to miss that. Hope everybody got your coffee. I got those timed a little bit too close. Sweet Polly says, so would a system like yours work with barrels? I tried to age, but absolutely. But what, and I know that about you. And Polly, you're the one I need to send the pictures to, right? Of my setup here, right? Because I took the pictures and I got it all set up and I couldn't remember who I was supposed to send it to. So I apologize, but we'll get it to you. Yes, Polly, but what you would have to do is currently I'm using a garden hose. And it comes in through the door and it hooks right here. This is the beginning of the system I made. And so the hose comes in and I have it right here and it feeds the system here. Ran by a garden hose. You, sir, if you like to use your rain barrels, yes. Okay, I got them pictures. I'll put them in Discord and send them to you. You would need a pump. You'd have to put a pump in your barrel, and you go to Lowe's and you get those pond pump hoses, and you can hook that hose right to this system here, just like this. And as soon as you turn that pump on, it's going to send water to your tanks. But you would need a pump doing your setup, but anything's possible. I got my coffee with my special honey. What special honey you talking about? Yep, the 55 a gallon. And yep, okay. Oh, did we miss something up here? June's in here. Hey, member for 13 months. Thank you so much, June. June, always a major supporter to everybody. Cannot thank you enough. And Cecil comes in. He's a member for 11 months, and he says he loves it here. Well, I love it that you love it here, sir. I appreciate you. All you guys that come in here and support me and hang out with me every Saturday morning. Always look forward to Saturday mornings. That works for a garage, but how about in the house? Well, in the house, you don't need it because, well, you could. Absolutely. You can do this system in a house. You just have to make sure that you glue, take your time. If I was putting this system in a house, I would take the time to actually scuff the PVC up a little bit, clean it, and I would do the primer and then the glue. And after you do these fittings, you need to do a quarter turn when you put them together. That ensures the glue gets all around the connection. And you could absolutely do it in the house, but I would take a little bit more care when gluing. Out here, if I wound up with some leaks because I was in a rush, I wasn't going to be mad, because if it leaks in my garage, it's not a big deal. That's one of the perks of having a fish room in the garage. This floor is tapered. So when I installed these tanks, I had to do major leveling with blocks to get these tanks level. So everything comes down towards the garage door. If one of these tanks explode, The only thing I have to worry about is getting the fish out into another tank. Other than that, get a squeegee, push the mess right out to the driveway, save the plants. I just squeegee this water and the sand and everything right out the dang door, and then dry it up, mop up, and fix the tank. After messing around with a 300-gallon heavy, huge aquarium, these tanks in here are child's play. These are not Euro brace like that one was. This is all these standard tanks is child's play. But it definitely worked for your house. Just take a little bit more care installing it and just hook into your hot and cold, which is even nicer. But having said that, that is my next step. My channel is about efficiency and making things easier. There's only 2 more things that I could do in this fish room to make maintenance 30 minutes or less. And the 30 minutes would require just scraping glass and sucking on and eating food and poop. Because what I would do next, if I wanted to, which I'm not, because the tanks I have and the size of my fish room does not justify it. Plus, it takes away too much of the maintenance that I do enjoy doing. But the next step would be to run more PVC and get an external pump so I could suck all the tanks down at the same time and then use this system to fill them all at the same time. And the only other thing I want to do in here, because I'll never do that pump system, it's just ridiculous for me to do it. The only thing I do want to do that will be coming down the line is putting a utility sink out here, running hot and cold lines. I would do it myself. I'll just use PEX, tap into my hot and cold lines. I'm on a slab, so everything's up above. I would run them over to the garage, come down to the sink. Boom, I got hot and cold lines right here. I won't need that hose anymore. And I can just tap this new system I've just made into the utility sink so I can just turn the valves on and get. I would use the Python valve just so I can get the temperature right. And then when you put it up, boom, sends it out. You're done. That's the next thing I will be getting into. And I'll even make maintenance even easier. Yeah. Okay, Polly. Cecil's specialty is THC. Okay. I was king at putting a hole. I was king at putting a hole through the wall. Yeah. You're like me, you like demolition. And hold compression on the fittings because they will push out. Yeah. I think you're talking about after you glue them a little bit, do a quarter turn, and just hold them for a minute. Yeah. Yep. I was thinking of putting a hole in the wall. Yeah, definitely put a hole in the wall. Man, I got to time these better. Fish Fam Link coming in. Outside by the water hook up. Hey, Eyeball, good to see you. Appreciate you coming in there. Maybe use the utility room instead. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I like to make things simple. I like to make things easy and more efficient. Like I said, I got a full-time job. I got a family. I love my hobby, and I love that it's out in the garage now, but I still have to do what I can do to make things easier because prior, as I said in that video that came out yesterday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern, I got to do everything I can do to make this simpler. When I had my fish room in the house, in the dining room, it would easily take me half of a day Saturday, depending on my motivation, sometimes the whole day Saturday. Then when I moved everything out into the garage, it was the same thing. It actually even took longer because I then had to run my Python from my main bathroom, which is the other end of the house, and we changed the faucet on it. And it was one of those conservative faucets where it slowed the water flow, so it took way too long to fill tanks. So then I started using the garden hose. Once I implemented the garden hose, I was getting my maintenance done in like 4 hours. Then I made this change and I've got it down to like 2 hours or less. And if I get this utility sink out here, shoot, it ain't gonna be nothing. But where would the hose or pipes go? Over and up the wall? Guess it would work. Yeah, wherever you want them. If I was going to install this system in my house, June, I wouldn't want to see PVC running along the walls as I have in here. Unless you have white walls and you get the white PVC, which is normally what you get, it'll kind of blend in and it wouldn't be so bad. But if I was doing it in my house, I would just take PEX, because PEX is malleable. It's easy to work with. Tap into my hot and cold. I would run it up over the ceiling. Now, that's because I'm on a slab. If I had a crawl space, I would just go under. And then I would either have 2 lines, hot and cold, coming in to the fish room. And then I would just have a drop down going to each tank. So you would only see one pipe coming down to each tank that you can control your hot and cold temperature. That'll feed all the tanks. That's how I do it, so you wouldn't see it. Can't have it on the floor. I would block the wheelchair. Yeah, no, don't. I mean, up through the floor, you drill a hole and have it come up through the floor behind a tank or something next to a wall. And then, of course, you'd have to either get those grommets that seal the hole off, or you would have to do some kind of sealant there. Okay, cool. I'm on a slab too. So you would have to go through your up in your attic through your ceiling and come down through. And that's what I would do here to do a utility sake. He's kind of preoccupied. I'm setting up a breeder box to put some fry. I just saw. So trying to get it ready. Oh, all good, Scotty. Yeah, cool. Setting up a breeder tank. No time to stop and get some coffee, Scotty. There's 2 floors. You can't go through the ceiling. Yes, you can. It'd be harder, but you still can, because there's a space between the next room, but it's usually blocked off by trusses. That's hard to just sit here and I'd have to see your setup. You do have white walls though. Oh, man, it's not here yet. But we're this close. And I'm not going to talk too much about it because we are so close with it. And I've already been making a video for it. And I'm glad you brought that up, Tara, because you're not going to want to miss the video when it comes out, when my 375-gallon aquarium comes here, because you're not just going to get a video of me, hey, here's the new tank, and me setting it up. You're actually going to get to see this thing being built. I've already started the video. You're going to see it being built from scratch till it's sitting on my stand. You're going to see me setting it up. You're going to see me putting fish in it. It's going to be a really cool thing. I've already been working on it, adding some cool features in it. You're not going to miss that video. But it's coming. This is the first week of August. So I'm assuming he's going to be ready for delivery within next week. Your cup's full of coffee because he's too busy setting the tank up. He's not drinking it. My fish room has a concrete floor also. It used to be a carport and was turned into a room. Yeah, cool, Cecil. And I never liked carports. I had a house like that. I had a carport when we first moved down here, and I wanted to close it in. Yeah, concrete floors are the best. You know, and at one point, my wife had big rug, area rug, and I even put it in here, and it made this space look so much more homier and nice. But I'm not a fan of rugs, especially when you have a fish room, because in my opinion, I just want the concrete floor. I don't want nothing on the floor. I don't want an additional chore. I'm the kind of guy that will never sacrifice functionality and efficiency for looks. Although that thing looked great in here and it made this look almost like another part of the house, I don't want to mess with it. If water's going on the floor, in the house, when I had water on my arm, I spilled some water. Oh my God, you got to clean it up. Out here, it's like, who cares? It'll dry. Actually, water out here helps clean the floor a little bit. I love being in the garage. I love having a concrete floor. You have nothing to worry about. It's a lot less work, a lot less stress for a fish room, in my opinion. Basement, I missed PA just for having a basement. Basements are great. I got you. There's a secret door that goes in between the floors. Totally forgot. No, there's a space between floors, but it's usually trusses for or flooring, wood 2x6s or whatever they use, 2x4s to support the floor. So there's really, it'd be very hard to get up in there to run line. But to see that, I'd have to figure out how to pull that off. I'd have to see the layout of your house and figure something out. But there, you can do it. There's water lines that are already, when they build a house, they got water lines going up there to your bathrooms or whatever. But that's when they were building it. So it's a little harder now that everything's finished. But if I sit and think about it, I am lucky, Jesse. If I was to move everything to the garage, my hot water heater is in the garage. You're like, oh, that's super convenient, Scotty. Hey, Christine, good to see you. Good morning. Appreciate you coming in. I'm not either. Carpet retain. They retain everything. And if you don't clean it, then you're going to get mold. And it's like, no, thanks. Just bare concrete floor here for me. I want to close my carport and make it an actual garage, but I don't want to pay the tax, get permits. Yeah. Yeah, if I remember right, in Pennsylvania, if you make a building that's it's bigger than 10 by 10, you have to start making property taxes on it. I don't know if that's still the law there, but it used to be anything over 10 by 10, you had to start making property tax. I would assume that your carport is larger than 10 by 10. Now, however, you could close it in with walls, install a garage door in the front of it, and keep it unfinished. I think there's a law there. And if Tommy's still in here, he built houses. Now he lives in Texas. The rules are different state by state, but I don't think if it's finished, you might get away with it. I'm not sure. It's still the law. Okay. Man, I got to time those dang things better. I want to continue the towel through the house. Need to find some towel pattern. See, I tend to stay away from tile. Tile is nice, but if you're going to have, and I know the weight of a fish tank is spread over the length and the width of it, but it's like, I've had tile and they can break pretty easy. You've got to be careful how much weight you're rolling across there. I always wanted one of those nature stone floors where it's just the concrete floor. And then you ever seen the nature stone where they put nature stone over it? And any design you want, rocks, things like that, which I think would be fantastic for a fish room setup. And they'll just refinish this and they'll put down whatever design rocks. And then it gets a clear coat and a thick epoxy over it, and you can see through it. Or something like that. And it's just, you can't hurt it. Ours was picked up by satellite imagery and people driving by. But yes, if they see a structure that looks like an actual structure, they're going to tax you for it. It's supposed to be on. Yeah, right. It's supposed to be on only permanent structures and not movable structures, like my shed being on a skid. I shouldn't be charged. Right. 3G's fishing today, and he's lurking. Good to see you, buddy. Appreciate you coming in now. Towel was already here. It's fine. It's the carpet I don't like. Okay. Hey, Rosie. Good morning. Should I be worried that my Python hose is getting black? Nah, Rosie. You know what? I can grab 3 or 4 of them right now and show you they're black. And I have continued to use them over the years, and I've never had an issue. Now, there's a couple ways you can clean that out. One, you can find a huge bottle brush scrub that bad boy out, or you can literally run some bleach through it at your sink. Just take one end at the sink and make a bleach water mix, and then get the water through there, and then you can just rinse it out real good by holding it under the hose to just let it run through and get everything out. There's a couple ways you can do that, but I have never worried about it. I don't know about anybody else, but I have never worried about it, and it was never a health issue for my fish. You're going to have that over years of use with it. I think Ben Ochart, he actually cleans it out once a year or something like that. I don't even do that, and I've never had a problem. I call it seasoning. That's a seasoned python right there. I gotta time these better. But as I said, make sure you stick around. 10:30. You don't have to go anywhere, and the stream is going to take you right over to the new Aquatic News Network episode. You don't want to miss it. Leaving water in a hose after doing water chasing, yeah, and I have tried my best to get the residual water left in a hose. I'll leave it run, and I'll start at the end and pick the hose up and follow it all the way to the end, and you still cannot get all the water out. So it's like, unless you're going to take like an air compressor and shove it in there and hold it, and if you do that, you run the risk of having the oil that gets in the water, or the dampness and rust that gets in the air of your air compressor going in your hose. And I would imagine that would cause more harm than that mold and crap's going to cause. I don't know. If you can clean it, for sure, you can try it. But like I said, I can't remember what I did with it. So it's back there. I can go get it. They're black. I've been using that way. It doesn't take long for that to happen. I've been using it that way for 5-6 years, and I've never had a problem. I do the same, but leave the hose outside for a day. Okay. Shop vac the python to remove moisture. Mine never turn black. Oh, that's a great tip, Tim. I never even thought about. You could like take some duct tape, hook a shop vac up to it, seal it off, turn that bad boy on. That's a good idea. A real good idea. Never even thought. Oh. Oh. Oh, I came out of nowhere. Yep. So several ways to stop that, and I just learned about the shop vac thing. So that's fantastic. Plus, when the hose is hot, it winds up like, yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I hate those dang gravel vacs that you get, like the harder rigid hose, like top fins. God, they're terrible to work with. That's why one of the things that makes Python so great. Yeah. Well, hopefully I don't even have to ever worry about using a Python again, because I suck my tanks out with a pump, and now I'm filling with a spigot at every tank. So I should not have to ever worry about one. The only time I can see me having to worry about one is if I have my QT tank going and I was done with it. I like to use a separate system to suck that out. So I may use it for that, because I definitely don't want to put my pump in there that I use that goes to my other tank. So I could see using a small, but it's down below. So I could use that Higer pump that I have to do that too, that little Higer pump. And I always run hot water through my hose when I'm finished. Okay, that's just turn the cold off and let the hot go for a while. That's a good trick too. Yeah, they do. Hey, Kevin, good to see you. Good morning. Appreciate you stopping in. Shit about the crap on the substrate glass. Shit about the crap on the. What you talking about, June? cannot sit down. I need to get on my feet. How many Jack Dempsey in a 75? How many Jack Dempsey in a 75 without too many? I have one in a 75 right now, but there's also a big Pleco in there with them, and that depends on their temperament, Kevin. Jack Dempsey's can have some decent attitude. The one I got has attitude. I think he's chilled out over the time, but if it was me, I wouldn't put any more than 2 Jack Dempseys in a 75. I'm not one to cramp space for fish. I try to give them, as I like, big tanks. 75 gallons, a nice sized aquarium. And if it was me, I wouldn't put any more than 2 Dempseys. And, we talk male, female. That there's factors with that. If you have a male, female, that'd be all right. But if you have 2 males, you might have a problem. You might have to add a third one just to reduce aggression. I wouldn't, if it was me, I wouldn't put any more than 2, 3, in my opinion, is pushing it. The reason I use a Python mainly isn't for water changes. Yeah, mine would always get plugged out at the fill valve when I did that, June. So I took Scotty's advice, and I think it was Cecil's. I don't even use it for that anymore. I've got a 32-gallon brute garbage can right here. I just take a piece of the hose, get it going, and I use just a tube to suck all the uneaten food and poop out, and it never gets clogged, and you get more suction too. I have a female, beautiful, added a second juvenile, so I'll leave the 2. Yeah, they get fairly big. I mean, they're decent sized fish and hardy. I've got one in my 75 right back here. Beautiful. I love them. Pyle's alive. He's still alive. I texted this morning. I don't know if you got back. Currently, Mark Pyle, he's out. I can't remember where he said he was at, but he's out in nature right now, walking around some mountains and things like that, tenting out in the wild, catching snakes, things like that. Thank you, Tim. Yeah, I always have the clogging problem because dead snail shells, June, or I get a clump of jungle vowel that come off the plant and clogged it. But mostly those stupid snail shells. They are. I love their colors. Beautiful fish. I had a breeding pair of jacks. Beautiful fish. Yeah. Fort Davis. Okay. Yeah. One of my favorite. And actually, when a 375 comes, I got to play with this thing because I got to figure out who I'm going to put in this tank. When Jim sends me them Severums, I got to get, they're going to grow out. They're slow growers. P-Tag was just talking about this on his live stream last night. And they're a slow grower. So I got a grow out tank for them before they go in there, but I want to put them in the 375. I'm thinking my 2 big blood parrots. The first guy going in is my really big Pleco who's in this tank right here. And the Oscar I'm growing out. I would like to put the Dempsey in there. Some of my bigger fish that could stand to have and appreciate a little bit more space. And then when the Severums grow out, I'd like to put them in there. I'd love to get an arowana, but there's so many other fish I think I'd like to get too. Like I've been wanting to get some Frontosia. But it's a big tank, and I would like to get some bigger fish put in there. I'll take suggestions. Excellent parent. I'm getting more angels for the hubby. Very cool. Angels, another one of my favorite fish. I call them the squirrels of the fish world because they move so robotronic like this. Pretty fish, love them a lot. And they're only aggressive, it seems to be, towards themselves. One of the most aggressive fish I have is angelfish, but it's only to them. They keep to themselves. And I got lots of them. They've had babies. I grew them up. There's more in there. Angelfish, what a great fish. Yeah, it's hard to pick favorite fish because there's so many of them. Tiger barbs, is one of my favorite. I like the angels. I love my Oscars. I like the jack. I love my plecos. I like my big plecos too. My big common plecos. I got 2 of them. One was a rescue. But the problem is with the large plecos is depending on the pleco, but not limited to the fact that they'll all try to do it at some point. They like to suck on the side of the fish because they love that biofilm on the fish. I got one that was ignorant about it. The other one, he's not as bad, but he definitely has to go in this tank when he comes. And I like my plecos. They look like dinosaurs. I think they're a really cool fish. What a talking piece. People come over and see them. What is that? You know, it's one of them wow factor fish. They get too big for aquariums for sure. You're right. When it comes to the silver arowana, they get up 3 feet and very girthy. So even in my opinion, a 375 gallons too small for that fish. However, and Whip was talking about it when I was talking about it. I can't remember the name of that one arowana that does not get as big. Like, what is the name of it? I can't remember, but you can have an arowana. Even the Asian arowanas don't get as big as the silvers. But we can't have them here. But there's another one you can get here that doesn't get as big that you can put in your aquarium. I can't remember the freaking name of it. He wants to eat the Oscars. He's a punk. Yeah, you and me both, Cecil. Do you think $75 for a group of geotopos and electric? Oh yeah. That is a fantastic price. Especially when you got geos involved. The electric blue Acara can be an expensive fish, but they're not ridiculous. But your geos, depending on what you got, can be highly expensive. So if for $75, if you're getting 4 geos, an electric blue Acara, that is a good deal, sir. I spent $50 on my Jack Dempsey, but he was bigger at the time and he is very colorful. That same fish store wanted $50 for an electric blue Acara. Depending on who's breeding them, where they're coming from, what they look like, the color, the size, they can vary. I thought it was outrageous to spend $50 for a Jack Dempsey. It's not this uncommon rare fish. But Branton, I had this conversation with him and he corrected me. And after talking on that live stream with other people, $50 wasn't really bad for that fish. And so if $75 for that, nah, you're doing good. The black arowanas is what it was. Yeah. Yeah, the black arowanas. Thank you, June Scotty. So you can get those. I want a silver, but even with this 375, you know, let's look at this. I got my stand right here. The stand is a little bit over 8 foot long. Let's say he grows to get 3 feet long. He has plenty of space, even if he gets to be 3 feet long. He has plenty of space in a 375-gallon aquarium because I've got 8 foot long and it's 30 inches front to back. And it's 30 inches high. So I don't know. They get girthy too, though. I don't know. What do you guys think? You think I could put a silver in a 375? When I hold the tape measure up and actually look at 3 feet on this stand, even if he hits 3 foot long, I'll just say that's only half of the length of it. Even though it's longer than that, it's 8 foot long. He's only 3 foot. I think lengthwise is plenty. He is going to have the 30 inches front to back as well. It's not like it's 2 foot front to back. It's 30 inches front to back. Plenty of height. I don't know. Maybe a silver would go in it. Now that I'm looking at it, I think the blacks are from Australia. I think you could put one arrow. I think so too. But now I'll have other fish in there too, Scotty. Angus, but I do. I think a silver arowana would leak. I mean, I've seen people putting silver arowanas on 125s. Is it right? No, because you're going to outgrow it. But people that do that, the smart people that do that, usually have a plan. Like Metalhead Josh, he's got one in there, but he also has a backup plan when he gets too big to put him in a much larger situation. I don't know. I think a silver. Now that I'm holding the tape measure up to it, I think I could get away with putting one in there. Scotty says he would do it. I got a local fish store that can get one in for me. Anybody have a silver arowana they would like to get rid of? Let me know. I should have my new tank here, I'm assuming, by the next week. And I'm going to be able to instantly cycle it. Lots of sponge filters I'll take out and squeeze in there. I'll have a pleco in there to hang out in there and really boost it and get it caught up. Big bold pleco. Because that was my original plan. I wanted to have an arowana in there. I wonder how he'll get along with blood parrots and Oscars and things like that. What do you think? Because I do want to get some of these bigger fish in it, because that's going to open up these other tanks for me as well. The 125 is plenty big enough for those two blood parrots over there. But there's so many plants that are growing, they're kind of getting smeaged for space. They're happy, they're healthy, they're colorful. I don't know what to do when it comes yet. But getting excited about that, we're coming down to crunch time for sure. And now that I got my water line ran to it, I got air line ran to it, and it's ready. I got 2 FX6 canister filters ready to go. I got the lighting. I got the sand ready to go. Airline drops if I want to add any air products to it. And the stand's ready. It's screwed and wood glued. It's strong. And I've got the glass cages upgraded foam mat because it is acrylic. It's all ready to go. Hey, there's Ron coming in. Good morning to you, buddy. Appreciate you coming in. It's good to see you. Yeah, I was worried about leaks when I first did this, and I'm going to be honest with you. As I discussed a little bit prior, I wasn't too worried about leaks because it's out in the garage. If I had some minor leaks, big deal. I do have 3 leaks after I tested it out. So one up there above the 20-gallon longs, and this one right here, right before it goes to the doorway, that one's leaking a little bit. Very minor. So I shut it off, dried it up, put some silicone around the connect, because I absolutely cannot fix it right. To fix it right, you need to cut it out, reglue it, do it again. I can't do the fumes, the birds next door. It just cannot happen. So I had to put some silicone around the connection, let that dry for a day, and then I went ahead and put Flex Seal tape around it. So it's going to have to do. It's going to have to hold. The leaks are so minor. I hope they don't get worse over time. We're trying to combat that with the silicone and the Flex Seal tape. We'll see what happens. I haven't seen anything dripping out of them since. Yeah, you as well. So good to see you. What are you up to this Saturday morning? I love my weekends. I'm a weekend warrior. You will need to grow out that arowana to at least 12 to 15 inches before adding your Oscars or blood parrots to be safe from their aggression. While the arrow is small, they can stress it and kill it. Okay. Definitely, Scotty. Well, I mean, I can buy it. You say 12 to 15 inches, so maybe we'll get one that's already 12 inches. Put them in there. But it'll be one. So if I got one, Scotty, he would be the second to go in. So my pleco, he's going in first. I'm going to let him chill in there for a couple of weeks, get that bacteria built up, that the good bacteria caught up to the load. Once he's been there in a couple of weeks, then maybe we can just toss a 12-inch arowana in there, let that go for a couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks, let it catch up, take time with it. Can't rush this thing. And Then after that's ready, maybe we can put my Oscar in them growing out. My blood parrots, the Dempsey. As I said, Jim from Happy Place Aquatics, he's sending me some Severums, but they're going to take a while to grow out. But I'll have room to do that because I'm going to be clearing some tanks out. That's what I'm thinking. This tank's a big tank, and I want a big show tank. I want big fish, my big pleco, arowana, the Oscar. I want people to go, holy crap. Yeah. We were talking on P-Tag's live stream last night, and he said something about if what you had in your wallet was the topic of the stream, if you could set up a tank, what would it be? What would be your tank you would set up? And I said, if it was me, I would clear the middle of this out, and there'd be about a 5,000-gallon aquarium sitting right here in the middle, and there'd be a pacu in there. I like pacus. They're cool. Which brings up an interesting story. Back when I was still looking for a larger aquarium, a local guy had an acrylic 200. He said it was a 300-gallon, but it was a 280-gallon. I went to this man's house, and I happened to look through his living room window, which happened to be the front of the house, and I looked back, and he had this 180-gallon aquarium with one of the biggest fish profiles I have ever seen. I looked through that window, and you seen this massive fish, and a 180-gallon. It was 2 pacus, and in with him was Oscars he was growing out. He had to move them to that tank because the pacus broke the tank prior. And the only reason why they were in such a small tank is because he was currently building out a pond. I don't know if he's got it done at this point or not, but he's building a massive pond outside, and that's where they're going to go. But they had to go somewhere till they're ready. But you have never seen something in your life until you've seen with your eyeballs 2 pacu in a 180-gallon aquarium in someone's living room. That was something. What a cool fish, though. Sitting on the front porch drinking some coffee. That's the way to do it, sir. Make sure you have heavy lids. Yes. Yep. I'm fully aware of that as well. And so with my new tank, it has recessed built-in hinged lids. And so if I have to come up with something, I'll just have to figure out a way to lock them on there. Maybe I can talk to him about that. Hey, P-Tag, good to see you, buddy. We just talked about you. Yeah, I enjoyed that as well. But yeah, I couldn't believe my eyes. I saw them 2 big fish in there, and they was also growing out Oscars in there at the same time. He had them in one of them big IBC totes you can get. You know what I'm talking about? That's those plastic totes that have the aluminum frame around them for transporting liquids. He had one of them outside of his house, and they were in that. But till he got his pond done, that's where they were at in a 180-gallon aquarium. I would love to have a pacu in here. What about you guys? If money wasn't an object, what size aquarium would you have, and what would be in it? Like, get out of the normal stuff. This is your lottery tank, right? What size would it be, and what fish would be in it? Use my example as a guideline. 5,000-gallon with a pacu in it. Crazy stuff like that. Years ago, a fisherman caught 14-pound pacu in a local lake. Local news called it a piranha. Well, they're from that family, but they do look like piranha, but yeah, not different fish. But that's neat. Local news called it a piranha. They need to do their research. If they were the Aquatic News Network, they would have known the difference. Am I right? If money was in an object, I would just buy an island and live with all the tropical fish around the island. There you go. Oh hell, I would be like Jeremy at Aquarium Domain. Yeah, build. But if money wasn't an object, I wouldn't be building the tanks. I don't know about you, Scotty, but I'd say, hey, Jeremy, take a break from your tanks. Come over here. I'm gonna pay you a handsome sum of money to come build me some stuff. What do you say? I would have a 500-gallon built into the wall in between my fish room and my living room. Okay, what would you put in that, Cecil? 500-gallon, nice tank. But I see, I'd go bigger. 10,000, 5,000-gallon aquarium for me. Yeah. But quicker, yeah. Like that man knows what he's doing. I'm not afraid to attack anything. I've been watching his channel, and I would replace every gosh dang tank in here and start building one big one that goes all around the walls and separate them and have one massive tank on one massive filtration, separate it at different spots and have different fish in there. I'd have no problem doing that myself, and it would bleed over into the center and all that. But no, I ain't gonna spend that money and do that. The glass alone is buku bucks. Then you got to get all that fiberglass, pond shield, plywood, sanding, all the fumes. Oh my God. I would have a fish tank couch, a fish tank bed. That's funny, Tommy. I don't know what I would put in it, but I know I'd like it. No, another fish I'd like to see, 500-gallon aquarium. See, so you get away with some cool things there, like your clown loaches. They get big, 2 foot they can get up to. But they're happiest in groups of 4, 5, 6. I feel like you could put a group of 4 or 5 in a 500-gallon aquarium and be all right there. Sounds like a similar topic we talked about last night. Good subject. I think my new big tank would be a plywood tank. Yeah, and that's what brought this up. I was talking about your live stream P-tag. And so that's what kind of got this going. Man, I got to time this Nightbot better. Don't forget, we are at the 1 hour, 2 minute mark. In a little less than a half an hour, the live stream is going to end, but stay here. Don't go anywhere because I have redirected the Aquatic News Network. It's going to take you right over to the new Aquatic News Network episode premiere. Check it out. Get some humor, get some education all at the same time. We're going to learn some stuff and stick around for that. Help us grow that channel. We're trying to get that Aquatic News Network up. If you're not subscribed, the Nightbot's going to put the link in there. Tap on it. Go over there and sub. Check it out. You might see what you like. It's free. You can sub. And hey, if you don't like it, you can always unsub later. June suggested Oscars and getting them when they're small. Yeah, and that's what I did. I got my two big Oscars in that 125 grew up together. They were little. I wanted to put them in the 375. But Milo, the biggest one, the boss, he's got too much attitude. He does not tolerate anything new. He definitely doesn't tolerate new fish. I've tried it. I think if I put him in that 375, I don't think I would be able to put anything else in there unless I had the other fish in there first and then I put them in last. I don't know, but they grew up together. They're happy, but I'd love to give them more space, but I also don't want to limit myself. He's got some too, that guy. Yeah, but I want to get some different fish in the fish room. But some different species, some different fish. The arowana, the severums, but I want something different. So the only thing I can think of that I like that's a larger fish that I think will fit in this 375. Now, really looking at it is this silver arowana. I guess though with the arowana too, I'm gonna have to get him some. What would you guys feed? If you had a silver arowana, what would you feed them other than your processed foods? I think it's important. Like I think the king of DIY likes to throw in shrimp, things like that. What would you feed your silver arowana if you had one? Ron says larger groups of several species of tetras in a heavily planted tank, cories on the bottom. Yeah, absolutely. And then you got that 375-gallon aquarium. But I know what you're saying, Ron. But you could even take a large aquarium and put a bunch of little smaller fish in there and plant. That'd be beautiful. I've got plans. I'm going to make like this with the driftwood I have, make like a tree trunk looking thing coming out. It's gonna be cool. Yeah, that's how my one frontosa tank is having. I can't add anyone else in the tank who doesn't like new babies. Okay. Yeah, shrimp and tilapia fillets. Okay. Yeah, I think it's probably important that he gets that kind of stuff too. What do you think, Scotty? Really, I think it's important for all fish to get some treats like that every once in a while. Go to the store, get you some frozen tilapia, shrimp, things like that, and toss it in there. Another thing I'd like to get for the fish room here is a mini fridge so I can keep frozen foods in there and drinks. But as time goes on and I add things, I'm doing things, reorganizing, this fish room is really becoming my man cave, my fish cave. I'm enjoying it more and more as time goes on. And when I'm done, maybe I can spend a little bit more time. I've got a chair that I can just roll around and chill out in the mornings with my coffee and just watch. And I think it's very important to take the time to observe your fish, sit down, relax. You get to enjoy watching your tank, seeing all your hard work. And another important thing about just sitting observing your fish is you're going to see if there's any problems. You're going to see if there's any bumps, bruises, scrapes, scales missing, cloudy eyes, things like that. So not only taking the time to sit down and enjoy your tanks is good for you and why we do this, but it's also good to observe your fish and see if there's any issues. Gosh. Man. You talked about new fish. That's one thing I want to do. Enjoy the hobby more is getting different kinds of fish, not just cichlids. Yeah. And that's why I've always had several different kinds of fish. I got a nano tank here with all kinds of different baby fish, I like to call them. Tiger barbs, red cherry shrimp, tiger parrot, convicts, Oscars. I got Pictus catfish in here. I've got glowfish that I rescued, black skirt tetras, blood parrots, African cichlids, plecos, neon tetras, rasboras, longfin danio, zebra danio, fat black mollies. I got platies, goldfish. It's a golden dojo loach in there. I'm sure I'm missing some. I just can't. So I like to see the different fish. Thank you. It was a cough, wasn't a sneeze, but thank you, sir. Joe, that's how MTS begins. I know, Scotty. Yeah. You're downsizing. Jim, he's downsizing. Hey, Jeff, good to see you, buddy. I'm assuming you're at the BBQ there, Jeff, aren't you? Throat's getting dry. Morning to you, sir. Getting ready for it. Okay. If you guys will excuse me for just a minute, I have to go use the little girl's room and get a refill. I'll be about 2 minutes. So while I'm there, enjoy my new display I put together here. I got right here sconce lighting on Northfin Foods. Which, by the way, I got a new package in for those of you in here. We're going to be doing a giveaway soon. And within that giveaway, whoever wins with the food, you're also going to get a Northfin sticker and one of my Fish Punk stickers. And because I have doubles and triples, I'm going to throw in some Fish Punk stickers like this. I have a whole stack. So Look forward to that coming. Probably gonna do it next stream. A little giveaway stream. We're gonna send some good food out along with some cool stickers. So I'll be back. Appreciate the stop sign. Don't go anywhere. I'll be back to see you. Need my coffee cup. Sorry, I was getting fruit trays ready for that's all good, Christine. All good. Oh, hey. Good to see you, buddy. Appreciate you coming in, Jesse, too. Dang bird. She gets mad about things and throws her food dish to the bottom of her cage and then bitches about it. You guys heard the bird squawk, yeah. And Cecil. No, she can't even see me. She's on the other side of the room unless I go in there. And what she hates is I walk through there and I was holding my coffee cup. She don't like my cup. So she got mad, threw a fit, pulled her food dish out and threw it at the bottom of the cage and then bitched about that. Thanks, Tim. Birds are so loud. I had a few parrots and cockatiels. Yeah, no more. We love the birds. They're only loud when she don't like change. So if you come in there anything outside of what she likes, she's mad. That's the Quaker parrot. But they can be loud. Mine is the cockatiel. He's my little buddy. I'm his person. We're pals. And that bird you heard is my wife's. She loves my wife. I'm in and out of the circle. Some days she likes me. Most times she hates me. I work my way in the circle and do one thing wrong, like what I just did carrying this mug through there. I'm out of the circle and she hates me. She'll fly after me. My parrot doesn't squawk so much, but she whistles and just starts having conversations with herself. But her whistles can be ear piercing. Yeah, they keep yeah. That's cool. And all these guys whistle too and talk. My little buddy over there say, "What you doing?" You know my feeling on them dang birds. I am scared for life because of. Yeah, remember that story, Scotty. Oh, it's like having a human in the house, and they are smart. They learn. What they equate it to? They say a bird has the intelligence of like a 3 or 4 year old Tommy, like a toddler or something. They're smart. If I ignore my wife, she starts squawking too. Yeah, can't get. I don't blame you on that, Scotty. I'll tell you a story. When I was a kid, I was playing in my sandbox one time, and I decided to go up. And my stepdad had a patch, a garden, and at the corner of that garden, he had a stick at the corner of it with a coffee can hanging on it upside down. And one day, I'm just banging that thing with a stick. I'm hitting it. A bat flew out of there and went right into my face. And the last thing I remember is this. I just got out of the way in the nick of time, but I still remember that like it was yesterday. Effing bat. Depending on the parrot, up to 7 to 8-year-old intelligence level. Yeah, well, that's a true story. That's all I remember is that bat in my face, straight up my face. I don't know how I got out of the way. Come out of that coffee, I would have been mad too. Someone was banging, ringing my bell. Oh my God. Bats, man. The devil bird. I'll never forget that. I literally had a bat in my face. You've seen a bat's face, right? Tara remembers that. That's all I remember. Oh my God. Oh, they're fantastic to have around. They take care of all kinds of. They keep the population down. We don't get overrun. You need them. No, never banged on that pole again. No, sir. No. Crazy. Jesse the Batman sailing. Well, that house we lived in, I can remember my stepdad going up there with a tennis racket. He had to clear them out because they would go up in the attic and he was clearing them and he'd kill them and he'd either shoot them with a BB gun or hit them with a tennis racket and throw them out of the window. They was just laden. I can remember sleeping in there and Tara remembers we'd wake up and there'd be a bat flying around the room. We just scream and cover our heads up. I couldn't get my stepdad's attention one time, so I had a little tube TV in my room up in the corner, and I just turned that damn thing up as loud as I could until I got someone's attention, and he came in there, and once he realized what I was trying to do. Oh, yeah, we were terrorized by bats. Tara and I. Yeah. I remember one was flying around the room and hit the foot of my bed and dropped down on the cover on the mattress. You'll never mistake the sound. They fly so erratic, because they can't see. Yeah, one of the biggest bat population is in Austin, Texas, under a bridge under 135. Yeah, they're probably all hanging upside down under there. Yeah. I'm not afraid of them to this day, but you know how it is when you're a kid and you have things like that. You remember things. You remember things like that. That bat came out of there and he was all up in my grill. I still don't know how I got all the way in time. Don't forget, we got 10 minutes left. I'll probably just keep on going. We're going to go to the one. We're going to be on for another 10 minutes, and then I'm going to shut it down, and you're going to teleport right over to the new Aquatic News Network premiere. You don't want to miss it. Hang around. Help us grow that channel. I don't mean to keep repeating that, but But I think you'll enjoy it. Education, humor, all in one package. I-35. Literally millions of them every night. They fly out and swarm and go on a bug eating fest. Oh, yeah. Imagine how scared the bat was. Yeah, you could imagine how scared the bat was. So banging on that coffee can, ringing his bell. I'd have been mad too. You're right. Yeah, I think as is most animals are, even bears, things like that, depending on the situation. But really, animals don't want nothing to do with us. If one comes after you 9 times out of 10, any animal comes after you 9 times out of 10, it's our fault, not the animal's fault. The 1%, the one that I left out is rabies, things like that. And I don't even include, like, if you're messing with an animal that has cubs and babies with it and they're naturally protecting it. Well, what are you doing there? 9 times out of 10, it's our fault. Hey, Johnny, good to see you, buddy. Yeah, okay. Appreciate you, my friend. Yeah, we got to tone down this Nightbot. He's being a douche. I belonged to a car club when I lived in Texas. We used to race on I-35. I remember you telling me those stories. Was it under the Bat Bridge? I'm going to call it the Bat Bridge. Yeah, Tommy Terra was stationed Fort Hood. She was in the military 10 years, Army. She was stationed in the Fort Hood for quite a while. Things like that. So, yeah, good times when you was a kid. We had a lot of good times when I was a kid. We played outside. He says, they're still racing over there, Scotty be saying. I have been under that Bat Bridge a few times. Oh, that's neat. Small world. So, as a wrap up, if you haven't seen that video, if I can get a moderator to share my most recent video about my DIY water changing process, put that in the link. Check it out. It's working good so far. I think I do have a little bit more supporting to do because when the water weight goes in it, like right here, it's bowed a little bit. I need to tack that up, get that supported so it looks a little neater, give it a little bit more support. Of course, when you're running water lines, you don't always get to land on a stud. So if you're going to use a wall anchor, use those ones like we talked about last stream where they're plastic spirals and they literally thread in the hole. Very strong, rated for some good support, good weight. So a little bit more supporting. This will be completed. It pretty much is completed. I've already used it a couple times now, but I need to support it, make it look a little nicer, straighter, things like that. But the system's working great. Shaving my watering, my maintenance down to 2 hours or less, and I plan on making that even easier when I get a utility sink out here, which is going to happen. You guys will be along for that journey. One thing about YouTube is you can do these things, and you have a record of always online there that you can always come back to and reference a nice little cache of videos. So that's going great. We did get it. Like I said, we got a shipment of North Bend Foods in. I think next Saturday, we're going to go ahead and do a giveaway live stream. So look forward to that. Cleaning up. I don't have no waste. I don't hold on to things I don't need. Everything's going good. These tanks are well maintained. And since, like I was telling you, I stepped up the water changes to reduce the algae, the cyanobacteria, and things like that, the tanks are already starting to clear up and look even better. I went back to doing every 2 weeks. I will do water changes because now it's so much easier with what I've done. It's not a big deal. I can do it more often without having to take an entire day or at least half a day, So tanks are looking better. The cyanobacteria, there's not as much cyanobacteria. I literally noticed since I upped the frequency of the water changes, I don't see cyanobacteria sitting on the sand anymore on top of things. So I will remove as much more as possible physically and keep doing this. And the tanks just look better. Wasn't a problem doing it monthly. It's just they were getting kind of ugly because of the excess nutrients. So the water changes definitely help that. And everything's going good. No fish deaths. Everybody's happy and healthy. Got a lot of cool things coming down the line. Gonna have the 375 should be coming, I would assume, next week. Already editing the video for that. You're gonna see what's cool about that video. You're gonna see this tank being made from scratch, all the way up until it's here, and I'm gonna set it up with the fish in it. So that's gonna be a cool video. I'm having fun with it already. So that's coming down the line. And it's been cooler these last few days because of some storms rolling in. It's not 95 on 100 degrees anymore. It's been like 78 and 80 degrees, which is I like a lot more. So let me get caught up on this chat a little bit here. Thank you, Tim. Thank you for throwing it out there. Tara, they call it Hester's Crossing. I've been to Fort Hood, camped on site back when we were racing dirt bikes next to the base. We could hear their mortar shells practicing at night. I get that where I'm at here, Tommy, all day long. Apparently, they found an Indian burial ground on a endangered species of bird on that base, so they don't allow racing or camping near that site anymore. Oh yeah, I did that. I did like that, Jesse. When my fish room gets more solid with no more tank movement, I want to do the same with with the PVC. The hottest temperatures I've ever felt in Texas was actually the last time I went to Fort Hood. It was over 120 degrees Fahrenheit. Oh my God. Yeah, that is heat stroke. Tommy, I've had a heat stroke before, and it's no fun. The antithesis of fun. Yeah, that's too hot. I can't stand the heat. I really don't like it. The sun and I don't get along. I mean, you got to have sun. It makes the life, it's every bit as important as water. But when I'm out in the direct sunlight, I too long in the heat, I get shaky, I get weak, I get headaches, and it wipes me out for the rest of the day. I like it cool. I'm already a hot-blooded dude. I was born and raised in PA. I sleep with a fan on in the wintertime. Sometimes I can be sitting around and I'll just get hot and bust out in sweat like I'm going through menopause or something. I just get hot and I can't stand being hot. I like 78, 80, 70 degrees around that area. Nice neutral temperature. Can't stand the dang heat. I want to move to Alaska, but the wife doesn't want to go. Hottest for me was in Iraq and Afghanistan, 156 degrees. Oh, God. You can keep that temperature along with the camel spiders and anything else that comes out of the desert. So, yuck. 150 degrees is ridiculously hot. When it's 100 or if it's 98 or 95 degrees, I ain't going out. Having said that, I'm out. Stick around. You're going to go right over to the Aquatic News Network's premiere, which is next. Certainly appreciate hanging out with you guys this Saturday. It's always fun. I always look forward to it. You guys are the best. Look forward to some new content coming out. You're going to really like it. And I will catch you out in the field. Stay here. Don't go anywhere. You're going to go right to this thing. You got to miss it. Education, humor, all in one package. Have a good weekend. You guys be safe. Talk to you next time.